60 Minutes Overtime.
This week on 60 Minutes, we take a look at ChatGPT, a new technology fueled by artificial intelligence that was developed by the company OpenAI. It is a chatbot that uses massive amounts of data to predict the most likely sequence of words, allowing it to seem like you're talking to a human. The bot can answer questions, explain complex topics, and even help write code, emails, and essays. Timnit Gebru is the founder and executive director of the Distributed Artificial Intelligence Research Institute. She explained to us what she sees as the pitfalls of training artificial intelligence applications with mountains of indiscriminate data from the internet. Well, let's start by you just telling us what generative AI is. What does that mean?
So broadly speaking, these are models that take in as input text mostly and output either images or other kinds of text or even videos. The generative part means that they're kind of making up text as they go based on how they've been trained.
And do all these generative AI systems just sop up everything they can from the internet? I mean, willy-nilly?
So almost all of them are trained with a lot of either text or images or videos, depending on what they're trained to do, from the internet, and often indiscriminately. But many of these companies have found out that that's not acceptable to have as an application.
Systems like ChatGPT have produced outputs that are nonsensical, factually incorrect, even sexist, racist, or otherwise offensive. Timnit Gebru was the co-head of Google's AI ethics team until 2020. She says she was forced out after she co-authored a paper highlighting the risks of certain AI systems. Can you explain to us why we're hearing that output is biased?
There is an assumption by many people who build these types of models that just because the internet has lots and lots of text or lots and lots of data, that somehow when you train something based on that internet, it will encode so many different points of views and so many diverse views, etc., right? Mm-hmm. And what we argue is that size doesn't guarantee diversity. There are so many different ways in which people on the internet are bullied off of the internet. And now let's ask, which people are bullied off of the internet? We know women get harassed online all the time. We know people in underrepresented groups get harassed and bullied online, right?
When they're bullied, they leave.
They leave. So
they're not represented in what is being sopped up.
Exactly. So the text that you're using from the internet to train these models is going to be encoding the people who remain online, who are not bullied off, all of the sexist and racist things that are on the internet, all of the hegemonic views that are on the internet. That's what you're going to be encoding, right? So we were not surprised to see racist and sexist and homophobic and ableist, etc. outputs.
Can't you train these systems to identify toxicity and not allow the system to spew it out?
There are many ways in which different organizations and research groups are building toxicity systems, toxicity detectors. There are so many different ways in which these models can be toxic, right? In so many different languages and so many different aspects, so many different tasks. Sometimes it's not even clear. So actually, similar to social media platforms that do content moderations, they now have a lot of people that they pay to try and figure out which content is extremely toxic or horrible so that they can actually train another system that can tell you which is toxic and not.
Timnit Gebru says this approach, removing harmful content as it happens, is like playing whack-a-mole. She thinks the way to handle artificial intelligence systems like these going forward is to build in oversight and regulation. Food, medicine, cars, airplanes, they each have an agency devoted to that. There's no tech regulation agency.
No.
Should there be?
Yeah, I absolutely think that there should be an agency that, I don't know what it would look like, but I do think that there should be an agency that is helping us make sure that some of these systems are safe, that they're not harming us, that it is actually beneficial. You know, there should be some sort of oversight. I don't see any reason why this one industry is being treated so differently from everything else.